Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Soul Cafe. I'd like to introduce all of us, and then we'll continue with our topic. I am Granville Campbell, and I'm speaking to you from South Africa.
Hi, my name's Anupama, and I'm coming to you from India.
Hi, my name is Renato, and I'm speaking from England.
My name is Cornelia, and I'm speaking from Austria.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. So today we are going to continue with our conversation from last week and just take it a step further in terms of speaking about the emotional source of disease or dis-ease, and also how religion influences your relationship with your body. So please feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel videos for the Church of Union. Also, please feel free to comment and share any insights that you may have into our topic today. I think what we can do is let's just open it up to everybody, and you guys feel free to share how you feel about the topic, what insights have come up for you in the last few days since our last conversation.
For me came up having health issues. I have to be responsible for them too, to take the full responsibility for my body issues too. And with the work from Jeff and Shaleia and the mirror exercise, coming to the core of the issue or the illness I have, and being very gentle and compassionate here with myself, and not only looking on the outside like I'm used to. I'm just doing it from the outside. Here also I'm learning, take responsibility to look first on the inside. And it's not like God is not punishing me. God is just helping me finding something in my soul, in my heart that is that don't feel good, and I'm not punished by God. He's just showing me through my body there is a pain in my soul. Yeah, and seeing here the truth and letting go of the illusion that God never wants to punish me. He don't want to punish me through my body or experiencing pain in my body. He's just, this is the alarm. There is a pain inside of your heart, inside of your soul. And taking responsibility immediately when I'm recognizing something and not, oh no, I can't do it. To another, yeah, that comes from me up this week.
Yeah. And I like what you said, because I think one of the things is we get taught as children that when you have pains and aches and various disease, it is you are being punished by God, and your body is rebelling against you and all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
And it could not be further from the truth.
Yes, that's it. Letting go of this illusion, letting go of this lie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. A lot of times we were always taught to look outside when we had pain or any fever, or even when we bruised ourselves. We were always taught to, look outside for the healing. From the band-aid to surgery. These are all the external methods of healing that are available, including the creams and the medicines that you would take, or even the nurturing that you may get, from the doctor or from the nurse, or from family. It was all about, if you're sick, then you need people around you. You need, they are the ones who bring the healing. So it's good to, to move away. I mean, it's nice, of course, to be at home, to have family pamper you when you're not able to take care of yourself. But it's good to remember that you are the source of your your healing. So it's again about, how you view it, your perspective of it, and you can prolong it or you can heal it. It's not impossible. There's nothing which is incurable, because if we create our reality. So if you create it, you can, if you make it, you can unmake it and make something else. So kind of that. So yeah, there have been a
Yes.
few things. Yeah, there have been a few things that I have healed, which are uh, genetic or uncurable, like sinusitis or migraine. These are generally considered as passed on from families, or and as a child, when I had these like sinus attacks, I used to be like, "Ah, why is this happening? Why am I so allergic to dust?" And why and then my mom said, "Oh, on your father's side." I was like, wow, way to go, God, to give me that gene, the
Mm.
sinusitis gene. And then I realized that, oh, okay, as I grew up, I realized, well, a lot of people are allergic to dust, because dust is not something that is normal to inhale. So your body is naturally rejecting it. But once that thought is inserted in your mind that, oh, you have this, it's genetic, you're done for, you kind of stew in that for a while. And then later, when I started getting migraines, it was from my mom's side of the family. So I was like, wow, this is even better. So it came back to like what you said, Cornelia, that God was punishing me. I'm like, wow, you took the best of both genes and gave all that to me, right? I got the recessive genes from both sides. But it wasn't that. It was just coming to the realization that a migraine is, when you're resisting something, you're really holding on to something and not letting it go. And the same with sinusitis. Like, there, it's good to know that there is a spiritual lesson in everything, and that once you receive the lesson, you can release it and you don't have to experience it again. And I haven't had a sinus attack in a long time, in many years. So it's healed. And my migraines, they come back sometimes when I'm, healing something which is really deep, and then that resistance comes up, or so then the migraine comes, and then I realize that, okay, this is, for something for me to let go. And then it goes. It doesn't, my migraines used to last for 48 hours before. Now it's, if it does come, it's 24 hours. It's lesser, but it's a relief. And I don't take medications for any pain. So I sit with it to really get to the root of it. And once it's released, it's released. I feel my entire body just releasing, and then I feel the joints crack when I move. I'm like, oh, okay, everything's releasing from everywhere. So it's good, So it's good to let go of, even situations which we thought were genetic and incurable, to even be able to heal that. There's nothing you can't heal, as long as you embrace the truth that you are created perfect. So you can't have anything imperfect. And even a fever, I used to fight it before, because I was like, oh, I'm sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. But being a doctor, I realized when I studied that a fever is your body's defense, like, defense mechanism kicking into full force, protection coming into being. It's not something you need to be afraid of, unless the fever is consistently high for a long time. Then maybe your immunity is compromised and you need to really, take care. But otherwise, so the weather change, the cyclical cold that people get, the fever that comes in with that, is just your body kicking the invaders out. So you don't need to get stressed about it. So it's nice. It's beautiful to realize how the body is so equipped to handle everything, and we give it the nurturing, the love, and it's equipped to handle even more things.
Mhm.
Stress has been, in my experience, stress has always caused major imbalance in my body. It rewires all the mechanisms. It's like somebody went to the electricity box, pulled all the wires in, and just put them in wherever they felt like, you know? It does that to you. It's like, what's going on? I turn on the lights, so the living room and the exhaust fan in the kitchen might start. So it's kind of like that. Stress really messes up your hormones and all your, immunity, everything. And I experienced that when I when I let myself be stressed. So when releasing stress, your body also is able to come back into its into homeostasis, into its balance. So it's good to know that.
Yep. And your card
My
says, shield yourself, protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I've been healing this today. So this is nice from the fear-based environment. Yeah,
Yep.
it's good to receive that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you, Renata, how do you feel about today's topic?
I feel this topic is perfect because I have a very juicy thing to share with you that just came up. I used to be very, very anxious, and I had a panic disorder for many years. Some diseases, you just get through your life. Some disease, it comes from your genes. But in my case, it was literally something like from the inside, like inside out, because I was not healing my anxiety, at that time. And it was developing, because you hold on yourself. But these emotions, they need to leave. And if you fight with your emotions, it doesn't feel good. And I remember that time, just before I had the panic disorder, I was all the time trying to control my emotions. Like, I'm getting anxious, I can't get anxious. And then I was getting more anxious. And then I would have a panic attacks like twice a week, 3 times a week, and going to the hospital. Because I don't know if you ever heard about this condition. It's something that you feel through your body that you need to go to the hospital, otherwise you are gonna die. You feel your body literally like collapsing. You feel symptoms like you are gonna die. And it was very painful for many years, extremely painful. And that time I was reading that there is no cure, is only treatment, that you have to go to the doctors, psychologist and psychiatric, the doctor, to get prescription for medications. And yeah, and I was taking those medications for many years, I think 5 or 6 years. And I became addicted on those medications, really, really badly. I had to take in the morning, afternoon, evening, and I was feeling literally numbed. My life was like a zombie. I couldn't think, concentrate in anything. I was literally numbed. And having coffee and medications and coffee to keep me awake was not pleasant at all. And I never thought I would be cured of I would be healed of the panic disorder in my life. And I remember 2016, I wanted to be free of the medications because I started to develop like, it's like when you can't balance yourself, otherwise like you can fall out like a labyrinth. And because of the medication was so strong, and yeah, so I went to a spiritual place that time to do, chakra healing, meditations, and it helped me at that point, but I was extremely still very anxious. And then I started my twin flame journey in 2017 when I met my twin flame. Of course, at that time, I didn't know about the mirror exercise, but love heals everything. Everything. Since the first day when I met my twin flame, I never had any panic attack in my life. Was like totally healed of the panic disorder. It has been 3 years. And then of course, when we went to the separation, I thought like everything is going to come up again. Like, am I going to have panic attacks again? But not. Of course, I started to feel this anxiety, because of this journey, and because I was feeling separated from myself. I'm still healing this, but we never go backwards. This is something I have been learning. We never go backwards. We are always healing. Once you heal something, it's forever. And now, yeah, I still have some things that I'm healing. For example, since when I was 5 years old, 4 years old, I started to bite my fingers when I'm not present with myself. I had this realization recently. Yeah, this is something I'm still healing. I still do, but it's always when I'm not present with myself. If I'm present with myself, I'm not doing this. It's like when you seek outside, like overthink about life or about anything. Yeah, and you do these things. Some people do in different ways, and that's why this topic is so good, so important for me, because I resonate a lot with it. My relationship with my body was not pleasant because I was fighting with my emotions, with the symptoms of the panic disorder. And nowadays, I'm not in that place anymore, but I feel like I fight against my feelings, but I'm healing that. I healed that yesterday, and now I keep choosing to feel my feelings and not be scared of the upsets. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you.
That's amazing. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. Yeah. I
that's
totally,
very good.
yeah, with what you're saying about bringing love there doing the mirror exercise really brings about such a huge difference. Like what you mentioned about panic attacks, I've experienced that, so I could resonate with what you were saying about how it feels like, you're just gonna die now. So, so I would never step out of the house without my bottle of water or without something like my gum, like chewing gum. I refuse to go on medication or even consult like a doctor. I was like, no, I know the science, so I know what to do. But because your mouth gets dry, right, at that time, and I used to feel even more like I can't breathe if my mouth starts going dry. So I would, if I left the house without one of these, I would make sure I come back to pick it up. You develop a different kind of uh, OCD then, do I have my water? Do I have my gum? Or do I have my vitamin C or something? But yeah, it's gone now. I'm able to get on a plane again. I'm able to think of train travel because I still love traveling. And when this hit, um, I couldn't sit. I always had like claustrophobia, but this was on an extreme level, which I'd never had before in my life. So I totally resonate with what you say about, the body just feeling like it's going to collapse. And in one episode, my body did go into like shock, so I had to be admitted in the emergency room. But yeah, I'm past all that, and it's such a relief. to know that I can travel again, to have that freedom. And I also have been able to heal emotional eating, binging, because of being able to mirror and give myself what I wanted, which I thought the food was going to give me, the love and the acceptance. Like food doesn't judge me, right? So I still like, oh, I love you, ice cream. You're the perfect flavor and consistency, and you don't judge me. You just go down very well. And also, it's not that I don't eat ice cream anymore, but where I might have been tempted earlier to finish the entire tub, now I'm satiated after having the taste that I wanted. And it's not that I don't enjoy my chocolate cake, but where I may have been tempted earlier to just, like you said, Renato, being not present with myself, where watching TV and eating the cake, you realize the cake is over before, you're like, oh, it's over, and like an entire cake. But now I'm very clear that I have a slice and I'm done, because I don't need that emotional support from food. And in fact, whatever emotional gratitude I used to get from the food, now I use it to give that to myself. Like if I get it, like sometimes when I heal, I get this image of food, or of me eating something. I'm like, I'm not hungry, so why has this image come up? So it's kind of, if I'm struggling to love myself, that image is reminding me like, oh, how did I feel when I ate this? Why did I eat this? And how did I feel? And I remember that, oh, I felt, it was so yummy, and that food. So I got this very fulfilling, satisfied, I don't need anything else. It was just that loving that food. So like, that's what I was looking for. That's why I chose that food. I just wanted to give myself that feeling of feeling satisfied, feeling loved, feeling complete in a way. So instead of getting it from the food now, I just give it to myself by understanding what is it that I want in this place. I just wanted that little bit of sweetness or that little bit of spice. And what does that mean? That, oh, I just wanted to feel a little fun here. So I give myself the little fun or love or anything. And it's nice. It's nice to be able to be free of these crutches, because they don't serve you. And you don't need them. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And I think this card I actually drew for Renato, but I think it's perfect for both of you. So wait, hold on. So it says, vacuum away fear. Call upon archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, the situation, and everybody involved. So I'm going to try and show it to you, because it's actually quite a pretty card.
Yeah, I love that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and it came up as you were talking about being present with yourself. And I think Anupama was carrying on with the same track, is that the minute you're not present with yourself, you give in to those things like loving eating, or finding fulfillment in eating, as opposed to loving yourself in the space where you need that satisfaction.
Yeah, because every time when you seek something or from the outside, it's because you are not present with yourself. You are scared of losing something. You are afraid of not having something, that you need something there to fulfill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, it is fear.
Yeah.
It is fear underneath. So being present is actually loving ourselves and being present with God.
Yeah. Absolutely. And one of the things I actually thought about while, in this week, was very in line with what Anupama was saying about eating, in terms of when you have a healthy relationship with food, you have a healthy relationship with your body as well, which is also a great way to introduce that part of Twin Flames universe is divine dish. And from the testimonies of everybody, I believe that it's working like a charm. So I haven't yet invested in Divine Dish myself, but I did think that it would be a good idea to mention it right now. So if you guys have had any experiences, please feel free to share that.
I'm in Divine Dish, and this is so supporting also in your healing journey. I had also this pattern of eating a lot when I'm looking for emotional support or friendship, and it helped me a lot getting clear about the upset with food and nurturing myself in this. And sometimes when I'm cook, I'm so happy, and I love it so much, and I love how good I can cook for myself, how good I can nurture myself. And Chief Jason is like in my kitchen and helps me making it perfect and becoming better and better. And it's like the journey, it's so supportive. I never could imagine myself something so supportive like Divine Dish for all areas in my life. I'm learning grounding every day, and 3 times a day when you are able to make it. And sometimes at the beginning I had to do the mirror exercise because I was not used to so much love for myself. And it's just do it. It's really, really, really supportive, and in any way, yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing, amazing testimonial. Yeah, get Divine Dish, people. You heard it. And I just want to say that I've heard about this from many people who are on Divine Dish, and it's very good to be able to heal the relationship with food. Because I realized that even when I binge ate, I never felt satisfied, and that made me want to eat more and more. And I was never feeling satisfied, but after a few minutes, like after I stopped eating, 5 minutes later, I'd be like, oh my God, I think I ate too much. You know, it doesn't hit you then because you're just doing it, not being present. And now I realize that I don't need those quantities of food anymore. They feel too much. So I do, where earlier I might have finished everything on my plate, now I don't feel that need to finish everything. And my favorite distraction was the TV. But now, because of being present with myself, even if I'm watching TV, I still don't need that amount of food. I just need enough to sustain my body, and the remaining I save it for the next meal, or I, or I don't use it anymore. It really doesn't matter. Like I'm feeling better about food. And yes, people do say don't watch TV, stay present with the food. I do try to do that, but most of the time, I mean, I wanted to test it out also in a way that you know. Loving myself more, am I going to go back to binge eating just because we tend to do that, right? That's what our movie theaters have imprinted in us. So when you're watching a movie, you must have that big bag of popcorn and the soft drink and the munchies. So we kind of create that. But I tested it out, and I was like, now that I'm loving myself, even if I'm watching a movie, I don't feel that urge to binge eat. My body tells me that, hey, this is enough food. And I look at my plate and I'm like, wow, I didn't finish that. And I don't feel like reaching out for, something else that I may have. So it's amazing to heal around food and soft drinks and everything. It's good.
Yep. And the card I pulled for Cornelia at the time was be willing to forgive. And it says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness.
Yeah, I receive it. Thank you. It's good. But forgiveness is also a theme. Forgive myself for doing things that was not having a patterns that not healthy, like have a really stressful day, and I forgive myself.
Yeah, Good.
Yeah, just forgive myself for doing that in the past. I gave always my best. And I didn't know it better at that time, so I can forgive myself. And now I have the best tools for heal all this pattern and let go of all the stress.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I will share with you guys when I went on a physical healing journey in terms of my relationship with food. And one of the things that I discovered was I needed to change what I ate for my blood type. So I'm a blood type O, and so I had to kind of put a lot more protein into my diet. And what happened then was over the period of 9 months, I dropped 16 kilos. Just by changing what I ate, by giving my body what it needed. And I think that's one of the things that kind of struck me when I was thinking about our topic around this concept of where religion teaches us to fast for periods of time and things like that. And like if I feel into it, it doesn't feel like, for me, it doesn't feel like a healthy energy, because you're actually making your body crave nourishment. Whereas if you have a healthy relationship with food, you give your body what it needs. You give your body the nourishment that it needs at the time that it needs. So I'm not sure how you guys have experienced the concept of fasting and what you think about it.
In my religion, we don't, well, my understanding of fasting and what is understood as fasting in my religion are very different. And I came to know of this difference even more in these past few weeks, where they do observe this 9-day fast. And in my understanding of fasting, having been raised in a Muslim country, I thought it was where you would not eat or drink even water for the entire period of the fast, which is how the Muslims observe Ramzan. So that was my understanding of fasting. When I came to India, I realized that in India, it's very different. When I was asked to fast here in India, I was like, oh, okay, but I have to go to college. I have to go to, oh, no, but you can have fruits and milk. And I'm like, what? That's not fasting. So the concept is different. It's about the way that people fast here is you don't eat any grains, or you don't eat, there's different variants depending on which part of the country you're from. So there is no, but as you said, I didn't really enjoy the fasting because it made me very hungry, very cranky by the end of the day. And it didn't feel good, like you said, the craving. But now when I understand how in the religion the fasting says, I have not tried it yet because I'm not too sure. I think they steer away from that traditional way of fasting. So they allow you to eat some things and say that don't eat a few other things. And I saw a video about it. It seemed a very healthy alternative, but again, something that probably you can't do on a regular basis, because it does restrict certain foods, and like you rightly said, the craving then for those foods may just come up later. But like fasting is for a short duration, I guess. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I mean, like, I grew up at some point being Catholic, and one of those things was fasting for Lent, but also fasting for Lent. Well, it wasn't necessarily fasting the way it's staunchly followed in certain religions. It was more a kind of that sacrificial thing of giving up something for that period of time. And yeah, like I feel like when I feel into it, it kind of almost feels like it encourages an energy of lack.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're asked to give up what you like the most, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And also maybe propagates the idea that you must give up what you like the most to get what you want.
Mm.
You know, which is again not true for sure.
Yeah, because they
And look at that. Look at the card. The card says vegetarian, vegan. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency.
Thank you. I still pass. I mean, I'll have a few fruits.
How perfect was that?
The irony of it, you got a card talking about fasting. Oh, interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's interesting because some religions they say that you have to sacrifice yourself, you have to choose suffering, you have to choose pain in order to be loved by God. We are doing totally different. We are choosing love and choose to give to ourselves everything that we need.
Amen and amen.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, my twin flame and I, we went vegetarian for a while because we were trying to be vegan to us 2 years ago. It didn't work out. Every time when we went vegan, I mean, trying to be radical, no, it didn't work out because we were harming ourselves. But then there was a point that we were like, I really fancy pizza today. Do you? Yeah, me too. Let's just get it. So we had pizza. But then we were always going back, to be vegetarian. So I think we found this balance, like vegetarian. But the way we were doing was like, let's eat more vegetables and fruits, very healthy things. But if we desire to have meat or chicken or fish, that's fine. Let's not put this pressure on ourselves. So we did that. And it was really good. It was the healthiest moment of our lives, to be really honest. Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. Actually, October, November, 2 years ago.
So that card was just perfect. That card was perfect for all of us in
that
terms
card-
of previous experiences and the fact that like there's this thing that where you actually need to take care of this thing that you're inside. And so kind of restricting certain things doesn't help you find a healthy balance in your body either, which is not the way we would like it to be.
Yeah. And oh my God, just remembered now that time when we were very healthy, but eating everything that we wanted, we were very like, this is very good for this is very good for that. We were really focusing on the good things for our body. And at that time, we were literally very present with ourselves whilst we were eating. We were like, actually, he was telling me, Renato, have you ever tried to be present with your food when you eat? You just close your eyes and you just feel like he said, your body is saying thank you.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, let me try it. So we tried together. It was wonderful. Well, actually, it was the same feeling that I feel when I do the mirror exercise. That peace within is the same. I felt the same when you are present with yourself and your food and you give to yourself, that delicious thing.
Mm.
It's very healing actually, because you feel like your body saying thank you.
That sounds very good. That sounds very good. It's probably something that I probably would like to pay a little bit more attention to as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try that too, listening to my body when I eat different things.
I get distracted sometimes with my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. In the past, I would be very distracted with TV, like watching TV and eating. But now I'm having dinner or lunch on my dining table. But I get distracted off my phone because my phone is ping, ping, ping. And then I'm eating and look at my phone. So I think it's a good opportunity to respect myself and respect my time, to be present with myself and my food, because these moments are sacred.
Absolutely. And your card is, have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices.
Oh, that's perfect.
Isn't it just?
I love the cards today. It has been so directly.
Yeah, they do. They work like a charm because, in that moment, it's just the perfect message for you.
Yeah,
Mm,
I choose to receive that.
awesome.
The vegetarian card triggered like a memory for me around, when I tried and the fasting. So we have in our religion, we have that on certain days when you fast, it's to appease a certain god and for a certain situation or to receive something. So I was advised to do this fast on a Thursday. Okay, so Thursday to be vegetarian on that day. And I was like, that's fine because I'm not like I need meat. I'm okay with being vegetarian. And it went well for a few weeks. And then we had guests and my parents were over. And that Thursday, they made, the delicious fried fish, which is in our style. And I was like, nice, thank you very much. To see us all at the table and I'm having this vegetarian meal where everyone else is going, yum, it was yummy. And I'm like, okay, this is God testing me. It's okay, it's just one day, it's just one meal, I'm fine. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. And then guess what happened the next Thursday? We had a family get together. And again, they had all the meat and the fish and everything. And I'm like, and they had a good laugh at my expense. Are you sure you want to be vegetarian today? And I'm like, yes, this is for God. And of course, the cooking was going on at home. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? It really felt like what you said, like, that seeing this food being prepared and I have to be vegetarian. It's like, oh God, I'm doing this for God. God, I'm doing this for you. I'm not, somehow I got through that. And then the next week, what happens? Everyone decides to order in food on a Thursday, not on any other day of the week. On a Thursday, they decide to order from one of my favorite restaurants. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this God is testing me, I think. Really, God is really testing me here. And I sat down with God and asked him, I said, God, do you want me to do this fast? Because it's getting increasingly difficult that all these functions are just miraculously falling on a Thursday. And then God asked me, well, do you want to? It's like, no, it's feeling bad. And I realized that, I didn't need to. If I could have this conversation with God about food, then I didn't need to do this to get to God. I didn't need to do everything because God was trolling me. If I look back at it, he was trolling me that, are you sure you want to be vegetarian on this day? I'm going to have all the parties happen on that day, So that was my episode of fasting and being vegetarian on one day of the week. It didn't happen. I was like, okay, I'm never fasting and giving up anything. And it didn't feel good, especially with all these things. I mean, God God has a wonderful sense of humor. He brought me back, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that story.
what Renata said about trying to have more vegetables with every meal or more fruits. I will try that, but I'm not going on a vegetarian fast ever again. I'm not
Maybe
going.
you could, instead of cutting things, for example,
Yeah,
cutting meat, or you could add more
exactly.
vegetables,
I'll
and you
try
can
that.
still give to yourself everything you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, I went off that, and then when I heard about the keto diet, I was the happiest person on the planet because it's all about meat and protein. But even that you can't do for too long. After some time, your body just says, "Can I have a lettuce leaf, please?" Or a tomato, or some more, or some carb. You need a healthy balance of every food. You can't stay off. It's not sustainable in the long run. It's a lifestyle change. So
Yeah, and
Anupama.
that
Oh,
divine dish has this. It's balanced with
yes,
all.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Renata, you were asking me something, I think.
yeah, just a curiosity. Is your family's religion Muslim or Hindu in India?
Hindu.
Hindu.
Yeah, we're Hindu.
Okay, so you are from the south.
I'm from the south of India.
So Hindu is more relaxed in terms of fasting than the Muslim, or the opposite?
Yes. No, as I said, my definition of fasting was completely different from how we do it in India and the Hindus do it. They eat so much that I'm like, are you sure you're on a fast? Because it's you're fasting. You know? I'm like, I think I eat this on a regular day. So I don't even want to know what you eat when you're feasting because it's just so much. There was a YouTube video that came on YouTube or something. It came out a few weeks ago, and the guy was talking about you can have this and this and this, and I was like, oh, I have been so misguided about what fasting is, you know. But yeah, but I don't think I want to try a fast. I'd like to have a balanced meal and really, like you suggested, listen to my body and really feed it what it truly desires.
Mhm.
Not what my mind wants, but my body wants. So,
Amen.
yeah. Amen. This was very nice.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, I think we are close to our, well, we are just about at our time. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I feel good.
I feel complete.
Yeah, same here.
Perfect.
I really enjoyed what everyone shared, and I learned so much from everyone shared. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you again next week. So please feel free to like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel. And all our Soul Cafe videos are there. So any one of them that you've missed before, please feel free to watch. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you,
See you next
everybody,
week.
Bye.
Thank you.
for
Bye.
another juicy Soul Cafe.
The Juicy Soul
Yeah,
Cafe.
it's like, ooh.